Hi again. This time I'm with Craig Campbell. So, Mr. Campbell, could you introduce yourself a little bit, please?
So, my name's Craig. I'm from Glasgow, Scotland. I've been in digital marketing for 17 years, and I've spoke today at MB Summit about link building. So, I do a lot of training, do a lot of affiliate marketing, do a handful of client SEO, and link building is very much an important part of every SEO's campaign anyway. So as I say, my topic was about link building, and hopefully went down well.
Okay, so in a link building campaign, on a keyword example over hoverboard, is that how you say it? Hoverboard. How many exact anchor texts is better to use, and how to differentiate them?
Obviously, someone asked me this when I was talking earlier, and obviously you have to diversify your anchor text. You can have naked URLs, brand related URLs, keyword specific URLs, and you have to mix them up as possible. And people keep looking for me to give them a figure of a percentage, and I can't really give a definitive figure. I could say 10% and just make it up, but as long as it's diversified, it's like saying how many different types of fruit should you eat in a day. You know, the government will say 5 a day is enough. How many apples should you eat in a day? You could probably eat 3 apples and 2 bananas, or 1 apple, 1 orange, 1 grapes, or whatever. So it's really up to yourself. As long as it's diversified and it's not all of the one thing, then it's going to be a healthy thing for you.
So PBN is still useful to use them?
Yeah, so private blog networks, or PBNs as you've called them, still work very well to this day. A lot of people tell you they don't work, and these are people that tend to not do it properly. So there's a right and a wrong way to build PBNs, and very much 90% of the audience are doing it the wrong way, and you know there are other people that go out their way to make sure that PBNs are really like real websites. So PBNs do work properly if you do it properly. As I say, there's a lot of guys out there who do PBNs that are absolute garbage and don't do the job properly, and those don't work. They are likely to lead to penalties, and they're not going to benefit your business. So when I say they do work, don't just jump out and buy a whole bunch of PBNs. Make sure that you're avoiding footprints, you're buying spam-free domain names, and make sure that you've got them all hosted in different servers, different IP addresses, and stuff like that. Because if not, then you are going to get yourself into trouble. So doing it properly will work for you, but people don't normally go to the lengths of doing it properly on a lot of occasions, which can then have a negative impact.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay. So, how to find interesting blogs from my link building campaign?
So, I wouldn't go out to find interesting blogs as such, more relevant blogs. So I'm not really interested in what they're saying too much. It's not interesting blogs. What I want to look for is blogs that get traffic, that are relevant to my business. Whether they're interesting or not is a personal metric that you might find something interesting, I might think it's garbage, and vice versa. So it's not something that I would focus too much on. What I would be looking for to find good blogs is ones with traffic, ones that have good metrics, and ones that are relevant to your website. That is what you should be seeking out. And whether there's interesting content on them or not, obviously if it has got interesting content, it's going to have more traffic anyway. So that would stand to reason. But as I say, I look at other metrics, and as I say, those are traffic and the power they've got, the referring domain names that blog's got, and also the keywords that they rank for and stuff like that. So that's what I'd be looking at.
Okay. And that's the last question I'm going to be asking you. And then, so how to know if the price of a blog for a link is right, or the blogger is asking a lot of
the industry average price for a blog or a link in the UK is going to be between £100 and £200. But really, it's what value you put on that link rather than what someone's selling it for. If, for example, you're in the gambling market, people are going to assume you've got more money, more budget, and the price is going to be higher. It's whether you're crazy enough to pay that price or you're prepared to do the poker face thing and fight it out and bargain. And in a lot of cases, if you bargain, you get the prices down anyway. But as a rule of thumb, I would be looking to pay, as I say, between £100 and £200 per link is a good average to go by. If someone's charging you £300 or £400, you would kind of have to ask questions why they're charging that much for it, because no one else in the industry is charging those kind of fees, unless it's gambling or porn or something else where they can inflate the price because of the niches they're in. So finding a good price, you'll get guys out there selling links for $20, $30, $50, $100. It's really up to what you perceive the value to be, but I certainly wouldn't be paying any more than $200. That's above the industry standards.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there anything you would like to add that maybe I forgot to ask you a question, which you would like to add something?
With link building in general, which was what I was talking about, I think you just have to mix things up and think outside of the box. There's not just one thing. You've obviously asked me questions about bloggers, PBNs. You can get directory links, you can get outreach links, you can get PBNs, you can get blogger links, whatever you want to call them. Make sure you get as many variety as possible, because variety is key. Don't just focus all your eggs in one basket, and that will work very well for you. And link building is not something that is as difficult as people seem to have in their heads. It's just about getting variety, building up the right contacts, networking with the right friends, and having the right contacts to be able to get the links from, and that really is the key to a good link building campaign.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank
no
you
worries.
for your time.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.